Hey guys, today we're going to continue to talk about these ratios and things that we've been dealing with, but now we're going to look at them in terms of what we call proportions. So what's the difference? All right. Well, now a proportion is an equation stating that the values of two ratios are equivalent. All right. So we know how to find equivalent ratios, right? We've treated them like equivalent fractions in the past, but now we're actually setting these equal to each other, and this is the new piece for today. All right. So 2/3 equals 4/6. That would be an example of a proportion. And again, how do I know it's a proportion? Well, I know it's because these are equal. And if we use our properties of fractions, right, I know over here I could multiply top and bottom by 2. If I did that, that would give me 4/6, which is the same as 4/6 over here, right? Similarly, on the other side then, right, I could also divide this top and bottom by 2, and that would leave me with 2/3, which is the same as 2/3. So any way that we do this, we end up with values that are the same, ratios that are the same, or really fractions that are the same. So that's what we're dealing with for proportion. So one thing we want to do is determine, are things proportional, yes or no? All right. So, for example, here I have 6/4 and 8/12. All right. Can I see if these are proportional? All right. Well, the idea is that I should be able to take one, right, multiply it by something, and then get the other one, right? So if I have this fraction here, all right, if I wanted to get my bottoms to be the same, I'd multiply 4 times 3 to get me 12. But then I'd also have to do that with the top, right? Because whatever I do to the bottom of a fraction, I have to do the top when I have this equation here, right? So I would end up with 18/12. Well, what we had here was 8/12. And are these things the same? The answer, of course, is no. So are these proportional? These ones would be no. All right. For the other one here, comparing 10 to 40 and 2.5 to 10, go ahead and see if you can pause your video and come up with that one on your own. All right, what I would do here is look at my denominators here. I got a 10 and a 40. So I know if I multiply 10 times 4, that gives me 40. So if I multiply top and bottom of my fraction on the right by 4, I get 10/40, which is exactly the same as this one. So yes, these are proportional. So one way we found proportional equations is to try and figure out, all right, how can I get these the same, or can I get the ratios to be the same, and that works. But another way we want to look into is something called the cross product. All right, so we can also determine if things are proportional using the cross product. And the cross product is exactly this, is we're going to multiply the top of one times the other, and notice this only works when we have an equals in the middle. So I take the top of one times the bottom of the other, and I set that equal to the top of the other times the bottom of the other, right? So in this case, I have 2 times 6, which is 12. And when I multiply the other one, I get 3 times 4, which is also 12. So since these numbers are equal, that tells me my proportion is equal, right? Or they are proportional. So that's what we call, again, our cross product. And you can see the general rule right here, right? As I multiply these together, that's A times B, right? These ones B times C. As long as they're equal, I'm proportional. So let's look at another couple examples, all right? So the first one I have here is 4 and 14 and 12 and 40, okay? So my goal is I'm trying to determine, are these things equal, right? So I can go ahead and come up with my cross product here, right? My multiplication. So to do this, I would take 12 times 14. So 12 times 14 would be 168. Fine, I want to see now, does this equal my other cross product, which is 4 times 40? 4 times 40 would be 160. So are these numbers equal? They are not equal, so that means that these two proportions are not proportional. Or I could say they're not equivalent ratios. Why don't you go ahead and pause the video and try the last one on your own. All right, so when I set up my proportion, 9/3 equals 45/15. I do my cross multiplication, so I do 9 times 15, which gives me 135. Then I also do 3 times 45, which gives me 135. Since those values are equal, that tells me my ratios are proportional.